Hello, my name is Austin Habish, the founder of Think Catholic, and you're listening to the Summa podcast, where we study St. Thomas Aquinas' Summa Theologiae in a way simple and insightful for anyone to understand. The Summa podcast is brought to you by Think Catholic. Taking 2 questions of the Summa a day, we'll seek to summarize St. Thomas's responses, discovering the brilliance of Aquinas and his Catholic faith is day 189. So let's get started. We're covering today questions 142 and 143 of the secundae, that is, of the vices opposed to temperance, and of the parts of temperance in general. The translation that I always use in these podcasts is the one generously provided to me by Ave Maria Press, the 5-volume set translated by the Fathers of the English Dominican province, which you can now get at a discounted price from Ave Maria Press's site by typing in the code Summa 10, and so here we go. Article 1, whether insensibility is a vice. What is the vice of insensibility? St. Thomas teaches, if anyone were to reject pleasure to the extent of omitting things that are necessary for nature's preservation, he would sin as acting counter to the order of nature, and this pertains to the vice of insensibility. Yet a man, without destroying his nature, of course, may virtuously forego many sensual pleasures for the sake of perfection and for the sake of the kingdom of heaven, as Jesus taught. There are eunuchs who have made themselves, meaning act like eunuchs, for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. He who is able to receive this, let him receive it. And St. Paul wrote, no soldier gets entangled in civilian pursuits, since his aim is to please the one who enlisted him. An athlete is not crowned unless he competes according to the rules. Thus, self-denial for God's sake and in accordance with revelation is not only not a vice, but actually an act of virtue, precisely because it is in accordance with reason. Article 2, whether intemperance is a childish sin. Intemperance, the vice pertaining to the pleasures of the flesh, is childish, not because children literally struggle with sexual desire, for example, but because, just like we see with children, the desires of the flesh are unruly and reach out towards base, petty things. Also because, just like children, if they be not immediately and regularly disciplined, grow increasingly hardened against the rule of their parents, so too concupiscence, if left unchecked, grows increasingly difficult to later subdue under the rule of reason. As St. Augustine wrote in his Confessions, speaking from personal experience, lust served became a custom, and custom not resisted became a necessity. Therefore, in response to our article, we can say intemperance is indeed a childish sin. Article 3, whether cowardice is a greater vice than intemperance. And intemperance is worse, first of all, because it is more voluntary. A man who runs away from battle to save his skin is less at fault because fear, especially the fear of death, can stun a man, influence a man in such an overpowering way to make him less culpable for such a sin. However, the man who indulges in food or his sexual desire cannot claim that he was simply overcome by the fear of dying in his case, and thus is more at fault than the coward for his actions. Also, the coward's choice is not so much focused on the particular act of running away. It's aimed more on the general goal of preserving one's life. Yet the man who sins according to concupiscence does really want specifically, voluntarily, this particular donut or this particular woman in front of him inordinately. So also from this aspect, it is more willful and therefore more grievous. Then secondly, sins of intemperance often concern things which are unnecessary for the preservation of one's life, such as the sexual desire or the desire for food, which he could not eat and still live. Thus, it is about easier passions to resist than the fear of dying in battle. And then lastly, it's also easier to train oneself in the virtue of temperance than the virtue of fortitude, since one could easily go throughout their entire life without having to struggle against the fear of dying in battle, while on the other hand, our entire day is filled with opportunities to struggle against pleasure and grow in the habit of temperance. Article 4, whether intemperance is the most disgraceful of sins. And this question is responded to by Aquinas succinctly enough, and so we ought to simply quote him. He tells us, disgrace is seemingly opposed to honor and glory. Now honor is due to excellence, and glory denotes clarity. Accordingly, intemperance is most disgraceful for two reasons. First, because it is most repugnant to human excellence, since it is about pleasures common to us and the lower animals. Secondly, because it is most repugnant to man's clarity or beauty, inasmuch as the pleasures which are the matter of intemperance dim the light of reason, from which all the clarity and beauty of virtue arises. Wherefore these pleasures are described as being most slavish. Now on to question 143 of the parts of temperance in general, which is very brief. We only have one article here, but it will set the stage for many questions to come. Article 1, whether the parts of temperance are rightly assigned. And as we've said in many previous episodes, there are three categories of parts of a virtue. The first category are those virtues requisite to have this virtue in question. These are like the required ingredients for this particular virtue to even exist. And for temperance, these are shamefacedness, so a disgust, abhorrence of the disgrace incumbent upon intemperance, plus the flip side of that virtue, which is called honesty, the love of the beauty or temperance, whereby the rule of reason shines beautifully and clearly through the man. The second category are those virtues which are kinds or species of the virtue in question. Like dogs and cats are both kinds of animals, like commutative and distributive justice are both species or kinds of justice. Therefore, temperance, directed specifically to meat, is abstinence. In regard to drink is called sobriety. In regard to procreation is called chastity. And then as pertaining to those things incidental, yet relating to procreation like kissing, we have the virtue of purity. The third category are those virtues annexed to the virtue in question, meaning they are similar to the considered virtue in one respect, but not really a kind or species of it because of a dissimilarity in another respect. Kind of like patience and perseverance are annexed virtues of fortitude. They fall short of the greatness of the fear of dying in battle, which is the object of fortitude, but at the same time, they habituate the man to endure other lesser fears and sorrows. So too here, when it comes to temperance, the greatest pleasures to moderate, temperance moderates, which are those regarding touch. Then in regard to other impulses, actions, external items, we have in the category of impulses annexed virtues like continence against lesser pleasures, humility, moderating impulses of daring and hope, and meekness against impulses of anger. In the category of actions, we have modesty, restraining a man from bodily movements, acts which he ought not to carry out, refinement, moderating the man toward what he ought to observe in such things in accord with the decorum of his day, and then lastly, gravitas, which moderates a man's everyday dealings and conversations with his associates. In the category of possessing things, we need a twofold moderation. The first is in not desiring to possess things too much, which pertains to contentment, and also that one not be too high maintenance, as the saying goes, and what they take to be necessary in such items, which is the virtue of simplicity. And don't worry, we will have many more episodes to follow up on the minutiae of each of these virtues, but such is a general summary of the parts of temperance in our groundwork for what is to come. We have just finished covering questions 142 and 143 of the secundae, that is, of the vices opposed to temperance and of the parts of temperance in general. My name is Austin Habish with Think Catholic, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.